Geek Myths, a novel about life, love, and the pursuit of sonic screwdrivers. Available in paperback and Kindle edition from Amazon.
Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. Now, this month has brought us 3 very distinct box sets, all of which, I must admit, didn't grab me. No, it's not that they didn't grab me in a reviewer's sense. They didn't grab me when I found out that they were coming out in the first place. You see, we've got Lady Christina, we've got Class, we've got Jenny, the Doctor's daughter. All of these spin-offs felt almost, and you have to forgive me, like a spin-off too far. And I'm sorry I said these things. But you know what? I had my Jago and Lightfoots, I had my other things, and perhaps it's because they're more spin-offs of Modern Who. I'm never going to get my Sarah Jane Adventures, and there are no more Jago and Lightfoots. I wasn't as enamoured as I could have been with New Earth, and I kind of put it in that kind of bracket. And so, here comes Lady Christina. I wasn't a huge fan of the character. Perhaps it's because I wasn't a huge fan of that particular story. And why didn't I like that story? It felt like something middling in the season. You can skip back and listen to one of my old reviews of it. We'd waited months for Doctor Who to come back, and we were given something that looked acceptable. The alien threat, well, yeah. And the magic flying bus, yeah. The fact that it was filmed in a far-off land and all that business is fine. Lady Christina was a stop-gap companion, played at the time in my head by someone from EastEnders who was doing the Bionic Woman. That was it. That was all that it registered in my head. The story came, I was a bit disappointed, and it went. I logged it, I reviewed it, and I moved on. The character meant very little to me. And so this box set arrives. But because I have low expectations, I am surprised and impressed. Not only have the authors come up with 4 particularly cracking and fairly lightweight adventures, but they've given us something, well, enjoyable. Something that lets you go, this is so much better than I thought it was going to be. And that might be damning with faint praise, but I wasn't expecting the Earth, and I received something that just brought a smile to my face. It genuinely impressed me. And that's not just because of the locations and the fact that it's moving. What we've got here is a unique selling point of, yes, the cat burglar meme, if you want to use that sort of thing. But we've also got, well, it's the Avengers. She's a kind of, and yes, I was thinking this all the way through, and it is mentioned in the extras, an evil Emma Peel. Enlightened self-interest, shall we say. And the idea of having her perform with UNIT was inspired. This has got more of a feel of a James Bondy type story. There are, well, robot sharks in one episode. Undersea bases. The flying bus thing sounds so Avengers-y it's ridiculous. And I'm talking the proper English UK Avengers, and not the thing with Thor and the Hulk. It's cracking. So here's the synopsis for the first story. Jet-setter, adventurer, and owner of a very unusual London bus, Lady Christina D'Souza likes the finest things, even if they don't belong to her, and the more exotic, or alien, the better. But Christina's activities have caught the attention of UNIT, and now Sam Bishop is on her trail. Story 1. It Takes a Thief by John Dorney. The French Riviera has always provided rich pickings for the aristocratic cat burglar. Lady Christina is enjoying the high life while adding to her collection, but when suspicion falls on her after a robbery turned murder, Christina decides to catch the culprit herself. Yes, it owes a lot to its original story, the To Catch a Thief thing. But you know what? Nobody's pretending otherwise. It's been given a healthy dose of Doctor Who-ness, and that just works. It genuinely does. And the reveal, the slow burn of all of the extra characters, one going off and against the other, and you constantly reading to try and figure out what's going on. And Michelle Ryan's characterization feels so much more rounded, so much better developed than it did on TV. Yes, I know the whole point of audio drama is to allow us to expand, but here we're having fun. And isn't that what we really need right now? Some fun sci-fi? Yes, I know Big Finish already have a self-interest, enlightened lady with a bus travelling around and doing stuff. I'm looking at you, Iris, but she's very different. And anyone who goes out there and says, oh yes, she's Iris in an earlier incarnation, if you want to go down that road, feel free. Not my cup of tea at all, but that's fine. I tell you what, it'd be nice to have a nice storyline where there's two buses racing each other. I'm just putting that out there for anyone who wants to do a Joe Grant crossover. Because that's what this is. It's the fun end of Doctor Who. That's what we need. Story number 2. Well, that brings us Sylvia Noble in Skin Deep. Sylvia Noble always knew she deserved better. So when a chance encounter with aristocracy propels her out of Chiswick and into high society, she's delighted. But the beautiful people have their own agenda, and Christina is surprised when those plans involve her father. This is a great, more insular story. Again, it's got that Avengers feel. It's posh people doing things, having plans, machinations, that kind of thing. Again, I don't want to say too much because I'll give away too much plot. But that's all right. It's Sylvia Noble's character, as of course played by Jacqueline King, who really shines. She was always underused in the TV programme, but here she's given space to breathe. And of course we have to deal with what actually happened to Donna once the Doctor had left. It would have been nice to have sort of more Bernard Cribbensy about the story, but one big star in the storyline's perfectly acceptable. But it's story number 3 that really takes the whole action up a notch and brings us more in line with the James Bond. And that's where our version of the Avengers, the UK one, really, really comes to the fore. It's an odd and exciting story. It's about exciting theft of paintings. And of course we've got that extra layer of Doctor Who-ness with something alien going on, and it's just brilliant. It's a sort of story you will come back to time and time again. Story 3, Portrait of a Lady by Tim Dawson. When her plot to steal a priceless painting runs into trouble, Christina crashes into an undercover unit operation and Sam Bishop. Soon her number 200 bus is racing from Europe to South America and into the depths of the Pacific, chasing a mysterious and unstoppable foe. And it's story number 4, managing to do one thing I never thought was possible. The redemption of the Slevene. I know, you can come round and slap me as much as you want, but in this story the Slevene work. They're pared down to their proper little points, and they're not played for laughs half as much as usual. The idea of setting the whole story in Edinburgh just works. And there's so much individual and local colour as to just be brilliant. Story 4. Death on the Mile by Donald McCleary. Lady Christina has been offered a job. The heist of a lifetime. She simply has to break into Edinburgh Castle. At the same time, UNIT are investigating alien activity at the military tattoo. And where there's treasure and treachery, there's also Slevene. Will there be more? You know what? I hope so. Was I wrong to doubt that